today is the day to celebrate love, but a new study finds nearly a quarter of married Americans would hide, quote, financial affairs from their spouse. Money problems are the third strongest predictor of divorce. So how do you avoid these kinds of pitfalls? We're joined this morning by certified financial planner Jeff Rose from Alliance Wealth Management in Carbondale. And you've kind of come up with a list of 5 things to kind of avoid to stay out of trouble with your spouse as far as money goes.
Sure thing. You know, the first thing I talk about is, the battle buddy conversation. So I go back to my basic training days. There wasn't a better analogy than basic training and love. But what I try to emphasize with that is when I was in basic training, we had a battle buddy assigned to us. And this person had to know everything about us, our inner secrets, everything, our family. And if we didn't know, we got in trouble. Well, the same thing applies to your marriage and your relationship. You got to know everything about that person, because if you're, to better or for worse, you got to know what's going on.
Yeah, and first thing is poor communication. I would imagine that's a big obstacle for a lot of couples.
I'm amazed at the couples that don't have those type of communication skills as far as what's going on with the money situation or what's important to them about money. What's the most important thing? Is it paying off certain debts? Is it having enough cushion in the savings account? You have to know what's important for each other to make sure you're working towards those goals.
And keeping secrets, I would imagine full disclosure before you get married. You might want to let them know about any outstanding debt you may have.
I'm amazed. I've heard countless stories where they've got married and all of a sudden there's a secret credit card debt, or maybe the student loan debt is much more than initially disclosed in the beginning. Sometimes it's purchasing things and not having that communication between the couples of just knowing what's going on.
And I know you're not a relationship expert, but at what point in a relationship do you ask these kinds of questions?
I think it's, if this is a person that you're thinking about spending the rest of your life with, then you got to start asking those questions. There's another personal finance expert that always asks for their FICO score, which is kind of funny, But knowing their credit history, knowing their background, how much debt they have, if they really have good standing debt, because the last thing you want to do is co-sign with someone and then find out, oh my gosh, now I've just co-signed with somebody that has a horrible credit score.
And we've got about a minute left. Having a budget and having a will, I think, are probably both two critical things, huh?
Yeah, going to the communication skills and just having agreed upon what we're going to spend our money on. You could have play money, but I've seen sometimes where maybe one spouse is able to spend more money than the other, and I've seen others give each other guilt trips for not, allowing that person to spend the money.
Yeah.
I mean, it can just get endless. And obviously having the will, when you start having young children in the play, definitely enforce having a will to make sure your kids are taken care of in case something happens to you.
And we don't want to ignore any differences of opinions?
Yeah, so I mean, going back to the whole budget and just agreeing upon what we're spending on, you just have to know what that person wants. Just having those open conversations, hey, let's just have a talk. Let's have a battle buddy conversation so that we know what exactly that person is looking to do.
All righty, be a battle buddy, and we will have more information on our website, WSILTV.com. A little later this morning, Jeff Rose from Alliance Wealth Management. Thanks for being here this morning.
Thanks for having me.